First things first, please check out our first video for this, where I basically...
Welcome home, cheater.
Yeah, so I basically went for every single one of the mechanics for the upcoming Firefly, Evil Firefly, Angry Firefly, Angry Girlfriend boss, for Mr. Calamity boss. So every single possible mechanic is going to be from this video over here. Interesting thing is, it is not exactly meant to show what's rate. Also, look at how big this guy is. Even, fine on Caslana. He is at 190 cm, right? He's at 190 or at 191. Bro is at Firefly's pussy or whatever the area is. So very, very interesting. But one very, very big thing to note is that it is not necessarily just designed for break, because you can actually use a lot of crit DPS teams to still get this. For example, yep, Off element Mr. Archer. I basically did a full run with Mr. Archer over here. So essentially it amounted to a Western, right? A Western 2 cycle, right? And using our free unit, which I would say is honestly really, really nice. Mr. Fine on Castellana should also do very well here, because as long as you're gonna be able to make use of his the mechanic that this guy has is that only one guy can be the crit DPS. So it's not that big of a deal if, let's just say, like your main crit DPS is still gonna be like a hyper carry, and you can essentially still pretty much make use of that one DPS to kill all of the bugs, and then he will be dispelled and he will get 90% damage vulnerability, and then you are able to get a job done. The problem I have a little bit of is like whether Casterus can cooking, but the thing with Casterus is, right, like the Remembrance flagship, you technically can just let Casterus be that main crit DPS, and if your Casterus AoE damage is high enough, she technically could also just kill all of the bugs by herself, because these are the exact same bugs that you are going to be seeing from True Sting. So as long as one of them dies, it will like pop. So it will apply the vulnerability as well as do damage to everyone else. So as long as you can keep breaking and killing these bugs, it is not as restrictive of like a boss as I would think out there. Like initially I thought it's like, oh my god, like dual DPS teams are cooked. But frankly speaking, it probably might not be that bad. So once again, Firefly, just as useless as she is in the tier list, she's also fucking useless when it comes to a Memory of Chaos, right? So everybody should be able to just go on this guy, no problem whatsoever. So that is gonna be for the final. I also did a boot hill run. I was like super fucking surprised, because this was literally like my first time running this with boot hills sustainless. I didn't even think this was like literal first time, no sustain. So if you fast forward to this over here, right? Look at this. We actually almost got a 0 cycle on our first try. Like this was our little, I didn't even speed you or nothing. So essentially, if we just had a little bit more energy for fuel and we cast off a DDT, or we had a little bit more energy for the Boot Hill ultimate to cast off a Boot Hill 4-piece eagle, that would have pushed my Boot Hill up into this action value and pop this by the bitch ass. Okay, we can ignore this 2.5 million. Can Boot Hill will cast off the ultimate into the EBA, and he's pretty much gonna be done. So I think that surprisingly, right, even though I know this patch is like it's meant to like shield for Firefly, Boot Hill was like super fun to use for like as long as it's not Apoc Shadows, for Memory of Chaos, which is the next one, for Apoc Shadows, which is against Argenti, as well as for what do you call it, anomaly arbitration, right? I think Boot Hill can definitely be used for all these content. So if you're a Boot Hill main, I would be very happy. For Rappa over here, I would show y'all what I mean by the Rappa one, but it is gonna be, if you laugh, wait, hold up, no. Okay, it's this one, right? So I'm not sure if like the video can be seen. I don't think it might be able to see over here. Okay, unfortunately, I have to pull it up from like my other tab. So I already finished up my video, which is like my final video for the it's my final video for the early access, which is the Sunday anomaly arbitration video. If you are a YouTube member, you can already see it right now. If you're not a YouTube member, you can just wait for a little bit. I'm gonna be posting up soon. So this is basically members only. Can you clear without super break? So TLDR, yes you can, but I did this run with Boot Hill Firefly Rappa. My full run was basically done with Rappa. So I wanted to see like how Rappa was going to be cooking, right? And I think my Mr. Iru, he will be able to use this footage as well. Also chat, can we just say, Stella Sora has the perfect background of it. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. It's like so heavy, so cute. And it's like, wait, let me make this one like a little bit heavy. Okay, ignore this. But like, bro, I love this BGM, bro. It's so nice. Yeah. Very good. Okay, yeah, as I was saying, so okay, this is like a little bit louder. Shut the fuck up. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, yeah, as I was saying, right, for the Rappa fight against the Sunday boss, phase 1, phase 2, no problem. Because we always have these 4 mobs that is always going to be coming up at the side. So as long as there are summons for Rappa, you are going to be able to essentially get over them very quickly. And I just want to zoom into this, right? Yep. If you do use Rappa, this is literally like Sireni 2.0. You are gonna get your ultimate in 5 business days because you do not have any energy at the start of the fucking battle. For Budo, it's not as important because Budo doesn't really rely on his ultimate that much. And for Firefly, she completely bypasses this mechanic because you essentially still start with 50% energy, and the next time you have the skill, Firefly can instantly go into ultimate. So if you are a Rappa main, your phase 1 is really gonna be really fucking slow because you're gonna start from ground up, which is like. And then what I end right there. So this is gonna just keep going a little bit. I'm just gonna skip through all the way until yeah, phase 1, phase 2 is all okay, right? So you're gonna be dealing a lot of damage. Look at that. Bam, 4 million damage. Okay, but this is the problem, right? The moment you get into phase 3, this is the biggest problem for Rappa because there's only one target. Right, there's no more mobs, there are like no more ways for you to get a charge, and Rappa's weakness break the thingy, it directly ties with the number of times you're going to be able to break enemy as well as the number of targets you hit, right? So because of this particular mechanic, you need to deal as much this thing, right, this toughness bar, you need to reduce this by as many as you can before the 7th day. So every single time one of your unit takes action, it's gonna be 1 day. So 1 day, all the way onto the 7th day. Then he will activate the god's touch thingy, and then he will slam down his big ultimate. So the more toughness bar damage you do, the more of this shield you're going to be getting. So you can see this shield is like 8,477, right? But like you need this to be like way more because he deals like a ridiculous amount of damage. And the problem with Rappa is that because this guy is a single target, she is not going to be able to deal as much toughness bar damage as compared to both Firefly and especially Budo, right? Budo actually deals very good toughness bar damage against this guy, and then we still don't have a fucking ultimate because it's the one fucking guy, right? So I'm literally just waiting for a 10,000 billion, and nobody in this fucking team can give me energy because Rappa doesn't implant weakness. So I'm literally just waiting so until eventually one fine day Rappa finally gets out, and because at this point Sunday is charging, he's not even gonna hit you. Right, he's just counting down for 7 days until eventually bro finally pulls the ultimate. So you're gonna get 0 hit energy and you're just praying. You're just praying like, oh my god, please, bro. I need it. Like Rappa is literally fucking homeless because like, you have no out, right? So we're just gonna wait. Yeah, we're still waiting. Yeah, it's gonna be a 5th day. We're still waiting. Okay, and then we're gonna still waiting. And then we're gonna wait. And then we're gonna wait a little bit more. Okay, we're just gonna wait. Yep, okay. 6th day, right? 6th day. Then this is gonna be the 7th day, right? So this is gonna be the 7th day. Now, unfortunately, at this 7th day, because my Rappa was slower than Lingsha over here, she had a grand total of 0 purpose. She did a grand total of 0 fucking purpose throughout this entire time. I was waiting for bro to pull the fuck in because I don't have my goddamn ultimate. So my Lingsha was the last unit to take action. She's gonna let go of her final basic or skill. Doesn't really matter that much because it's gonna be the same toughness bar damage. And then he's gonna let go of his magic. Now look at this. I have 18,000 HP by the way, right? 18,000 shield. So when this guy touches God or Sunday or whatever that's gonna be, he slams down. Look at my bar by the way. Holy fucking shit, man. I would say because of a scenario like this, right? It is, I think it would actually be better if you run a run Mei and just go full on sustainless. Because if you deal more toughness bar damage at this point, you will technically gain more shield. And it's not like Lingsha was gonna save her ass. Like if Rappa actually got one shot here, nobody's gonna save her, right? Lingsha ain't gonna save her. So I think that for this particular setup, I would say running Rame is probably gonna be a lot better. Now we are gonna be getting our emergency heals, but it doesn't really matter at this point because the entire cycle is just gonna rotate, right? This is the same enemy that will never ever do anything else ever again. He's just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over for phase 3. And for Rappa, it's just like really fucking slow, right? And now look at this. He still has 75% HP remaining, right? So even though I cast my Rappa ultimate right before Rappa turn, it's an extra turn, so I'm gonna get 2 EBAs. So this is gonna be EBA 1, then there's gonna be EBA 2, there's 1 more 2 minutes, right? But because this is single target damage, my actual damage itself is so fucking low, right? It's only 939k. Okay, only is a little bit like, it sounds very high, right? But the thing is, if you're comparing to units like Budo and Firefly, who does like 1.52 million per EBA, it's like, it really just does not compare. So despite the fact that we actually got to the final phase, this is literally the final phase, phase 3, on the first cycle, right? This is on the first cycle, and we're going to be going to cycle 2. But because this guy has no other spawns. Rappa just don't deal damage, bro. Like she literally just don't do enough damage. And my final EBA, once I am done, guess what happens? Guess what happens? She runs out of the fucking ultimate, and then she's gonna deal no damage again. And then she's done, bro. That's it, right? The end, right? Well, thank you so much for coming. My name is Rappa, and now I'm gonna be homeless. So now your Rappa does absolutely fucking nothing for 10 billion years. So throughout the rest of the phase, right, we literally couldn't even get ourselves the 3-star clear using our Rappa over here. And there's really just like nothing you can do because the mechanic for this phase 3, it was so fucking bad for Rappa. There was no feasible way that you can actually get off your damage fast enough, unless probably if you're gonna be able to get more costs. So maybe if you can step on like I don't know, like an E1 Rappa, you run okay, like Runmate. I think Runmate will actually help a lot, right? If Runmate got quit pro quo, like all these kind of like energy sources, like fucking run Cyrene, right? Run Cyrene, give Rappa 100% ultimate or whatever. But like if we don't fix this problem, right, you simply just cannot deal enough damage if you do want to run Rappa with the anomaly arbitration Sunday. This video is gonna be coming out in I think like 4 or 5 hours. You can take like a more detailed breakdown. But for Bulio and Firefly, I noticed that it was not. Firefly is a super fucking chill. Firefly is a full auto once I go whatever. It's chill. I think Bulio is also very chill. But for crit DPS, I actually did not test them fully. But mainly from the buffs over here, it is very, very universal, right? This crit buffs, or rather not crit buffs, is like an attack buff. So as long as you're either attack scaling, or if you're gonna be running this very, very generic 40% damage buff, you should be able to do pretty well for this Sunday boss. So this third buff is mainly gonna be for people that are off element, because you definitely needed to break Bro's toughness more damage, otherwise he's done. Then this one is just mainly for your attack scaling. So I think for this current anomaly arbitration, the rotation actually feels quite universal. It's just that the first one is definitely gonna be meant for your super DPS, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. The energy debuff, I honestly think this energy debuff is not worse than the one that we have right now. Like the one that if the guy hits you, you will lose a lot of energy, right? It's just super fucking bad for Rappa, because Rappa is gonna start with 0 energy and she needs to wait 10,000 years to get her out. So imagine if they have this this energy debuff or an out debuff, but right now it's energy. Right now it's energy. What if they have it next time for like all units, or like units with non-energy ultimates? You start with 0. So imagine if you put E2 Cyrene and they cast off the debuff, your E2 Cyrene starts with 0 stacks. Oh wallahi little bro, right? So that's gonna be pretty much a little bit of a insight as to whether or not super break is gonna be meta in AAA. I think I can see you guys on the clip channel, right? Bada bing, bada boom, bada bap. Right.
You have cooled your last cool, my man.